Let's do the verses 1 and 2. Can you all hear me? Is this clear? Even at the back? All right. Let's do the verses 1 and 2, which are the invocations to God and Guru. Let's just chant it once more. I'll chant and you repeat after me. Sargasthiti pralaya hetum achintya shaktim. Sargasthiti pralaya hetum achintya shaktim. Vishveshwaram vidita vishwamanantamurtim. Vishveshwaram vidita vishwamanantamurtim. Nirmukta bandhanam apara sukhamburashim. Nirmukta bandhanam apara sukhamburashim. Shri Vallabham Vimalabodhaganam namami. Shri Vallabham Vimalabodhaganam namami. Yasya prasadadahameva Vishnu. Yasya prasadadahameva Vishnu. Mayyeva sarvam parikalpitam cha. Mayyeva sarvam parikalpitam cha. Itham vijanami sadatma rupam. Itham vijanami sadatma rupam. Tasyangri padmam pranatosmi nityam. Tasyangri padmam pranatosmi nityam. So we are studying Vakyavritti, a text on Advaita Vedanta by Adi Shankaracharya, where we see a dialogue has been set up between the Guru and the disciple. So the disciple approaches the Guru with this question that I am afflicted by the sufferings of samsara and I seek a deep solution, an ultimate solution to this problem. Please teach me. And the Guru says that you just have to understand Tat Tvam Asi, and that will set you free from samsara. You are Brahman, and if you understand how you are Brahman, if you see that from that perspective, you are free of samsara. And then the student says, but I don't understand. To understand a sentence, you must understand the words in the sentence. Any sentence. You must understand the words. Tat Tvam Asi. What is Tvam? You. What is Tat? That. You are that. That's the meaning of the sentence. But what is that and what is you? Unless I know these meanings, how will I understand the sentence? The Guru says, you are right. And he starts teaching him the meanings of the words. The two words we need to understand. Tat and Tvam. And then finally we need to understand how they are the same. Tat means that, whatever that is. Tvam is you. We think we know who we are, but even there we saw the whole of yesterday was an investigation into what we are, and we really don't know what we are. And then the third thing will be how are they? Asi means how are they? How are you and that? How are they one? How are they identical? So yesterday we saw the teacher taught that we are not what we think we are. We instinctively point to ourselves as this body-mind complex, but we are not this body-mind complex. We are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the consciousness, the witness of the body-mind. We are not if you want to be more fine-grained about it, take a closer look. We are not the physical body, Annamaya Kosha. We are not the vital body, Pranamaya Kosha. We are not the mental body, Manomaya Kosha. We are not the intellect, Vijnanamaya Kosha. Beyond that, if you see, there is a blankness, a potential state, something we experience in deep sleep. We do not experience ourselves as a body or a mind in deep sleep. That is called Anandamaya Kosha. We are not that also. We are that which is a witness to all of these. We are that to which all of these appear and disappear. So what is that? Queer consciousness. Bare consciousness. Consciousness alone. not thoughts, because we have already said we are not the mind, not even ideas. We have already said we are not the intellect. Remember, the mind is there, the body is there, the intellect is there, the prana is there. That's why we are able to do this inquiry. But we are not that. We are essentially, we are consciousness. And that consciousness is ever free of trouble. How's that? Aging, disease, death, and a body. Hunger and thirst, tiredness and exhaustion and prana. Actually, most diseases are pranic in nature. They are manifested at the body level. That's the whole philosophy of Ayurveda. Anyway, prana. Within the prana, remember the principle which I said at the end of yesterday's class? That monk who said, keep things where they belong. As simple as that. It belongs there, keep it there. Old age belongs where? Not to consciousness, body. See that it's the old age of the body. It's the disease of the body or the prana, not me, the consciousness. Misery, anxiety, fright, frustration. Where do they belong? We go, me. They belong, no. They belong to the mind. No escapism here. We are not denying anything. We are in fact seeing things as they are. After all, where is misery? Where is sorrow? Where is regret? Where is guilt? Where is jealousy, anger, frustration? And all the happy qualities also. They are all in the mind. Where is even ignorance? We are trying to overcome ignorance here. When we go to college, university, we are trying to overcome ignorance about secular subjects. When we come to spiritual class, we are trying to overcome ignorance about ourselves. But where is that ignorance? That also is not in you. That's in the intellect. Buddhi. And ignorance is overcome by knowledge in the intellect. But Vijnanamaya Kosha, not me. And the potential state of all of these is a deep sleep state of the Anandamaya Kosha. Not me. I am the witness of all of that. So that's what we did yesterday. That is the meaning of the word Tvam, you. Not what we instinctively take it to be. Instinctively, this one. No. This is the shift that we are being asked to make. First understand, first hear what is said, get the information, download the information. Step 1, Shravana. Step 2, understand it, Manana. Where you can say, okay, I've got the information, now I get it. I see that I am actually consciousness, and all the other things I took myself to be, those are things I'm aware of. They are there, but I'm aware of them. But I am not them. No more than I am this shirt that I'm wearing. When the third thing is, stay with this understanding, nididhyasana. Stay with this understanding till it becomes a living fact for you. Till, like you can say right now, we feel without any effort, we feel I am this physical thing sitting here in this chair, I am this. We feel it naturally, we don't even question it. Like that, we must assimilate it to that extent that I am awareness, entirely free of the problems of body-mind. And that becomes natural. Swami Vivekananda says that you tell that to yourself, see that again and again until he says it tingles with every drop of your blood. It becomes, so you can live that philosophy easily. So that's what we saw yesterday. Now we'll carry on from, I stopped at verse number 21 because 22 is a biggie, is a heavyweight. So we're going to go into 22. Remember, nothing new. Whatever we saw yesterday, that's exactly what's going to be repeated in 22, but from an entirely different angle, a very powerful angle. This is the famous Avasthatraya Vichara, which we studied in Mandukya Upanishad. So we'd see this here. Verse number 22. Swapna jagarite suptim Swapna jagarite suptim bhava bhavo dhyam tatha bhava bhavo dhyam tatha yo vitya vikriya sakshat yo vitya vikriya sakshat soham ityavadharaya soham ityavadharaya. Make sure that you are the changeless self, immediately cognized, that illumines the three states of waking, dreaming and deep sleep, as well as the appearance and disappearance of the intellect and its modifications. Again, it sounds so dry, but it's such a glorious fact about ourselves. So this is from the Mandukya Upanishad. I mean, the Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest of all the Upanishads, only 12 mantras, but it's very powerful. It's the most powerful of all the Upanishadic literature. And there it tells us what we are, it shows us what we are. The unique method adopted there is an inquiry into the three states of waking, dreaming, deep sleep. All of us undergo waking, dreaming, deep sleep, three states. Avastha Traya. Avastha means state. Traya means three. Three states. Avastha Traya Vichara. An inquiry into the three states. But three states of what? Remember, I mentioned this yesterday. These are not states of consciousness. The states of mind. Yes. Good. That means people are following this carefully. It's so loosely people say, oh, Mandukya, the three states of consciousness. I mean, loosely you can say that, but as Vedanta students, we must be precise. These are three states of mind. Birth, youth, old age, even death. These are states of the body. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep are states of the mind. Consciousness is one and constant. One of our great Swamis, Swami Sarvapriyananda, who started the Vedanta work in South Africa. So he was one to teach these Vedantic truths with very nice examples. So one example I really love is the station master. So imagine Howrah station. There's a station in Calcutta. If you have not seen it, I mean, I shouldn't say that you should see it, but it's a sight worth seeing. So when you see railway stations in the United States or Canada, you go, no, these are not railway stations. Railway station is Howrah station. So a veritable sea of humanity is rushing back and forth, So imagine, so there is a platform and the train is coming and the station master is there sitting and watching. So the train comes. The famous train in India at that time was Rajdhani Express, the Capital Express, So it is coming in, and there are so many people waiting to get on board, and so many people to get down from the train. It's busy, and it's a lot of things are happening, very intense. And the station master is watching. Then after some time, the train is ready to go. It chugs off from the platform. Station master is watching. Didn't come in with the train, didn't go away with the train. Just watches. Next comes a goods train. Nothing much. You see goods train here. So there's only the driver who gets down for a cup of tea maybe, and it's sort of not very active. And then it leaves. Station master is watching. It didn't come with the train, didn't go away with the train. Then there's no train. It's a blank platform. But that doesn't mean the station master is not there. He's there. He's watching the blank platform. Now exactly like that. In our conscious life, here comes the waking state. With all its pomp and glory and problems and, intensity. I wake up in the morning. Here's my life. I have to get ready and go off to office or see the kids off to school or whatever. Or I have to go to school. So I have this waking life with its hopes and disappointments and desires and frustrations, plans, and so on. This comes into my consciousness. Consciousness did not come with that state. Consciousness was there. It comes, this whole state comes in like the train, and lots of things happen, and then it leaves. Consciousness is like the station master watching. What comes in its place? A dream state. Fall asleep, dream, sort of vague imitation of the waking state. The consciousness is watching, station master is watching. You did not leave, you did not come with the waking state or the dream state. Then the dream state also goes away. What comes next? Blank platform, nothing there, no train, nothing, blank. You are still watching. This, like the station master, this witness consciousness which you are, which I am, we watch the waking, dreaming and deep sleep states, right? It comes and goes. How is this different from our general life? Our life before this inquiry, we normally take the waking state to be life. This is it. And the dream state is a sort of, oh, I've fallen asleep, I'm sort of half conscious, and it's just my brain is generating stuff. And the waking, deep sleep state, oh, it's nothing much. It's a kind of rest. And then I come back to my real life, this real quote unquote life, this. The Avasthatraya Vichara, inquiry into the three states, the Mandukya Upanishad says, your real life is you, consciousness. And in that real life, there are three kinds of states which appear and disappear. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. From the perspective of consciousness, they are all appearances. Instead of three states, Gaudapada, who wrote the classic commentary on the Mandukya Upanishad called Mandukya Karika. So nowadays when people study Mandukya Upanishad, you generally study it with the Karika of Gaudapada. Gaudapada says, no, there are only two states. From the perspective of consciousness, if you take one more logical step, don't you feel like saying, there is something common to the waking and dreaming. What's that? Things appear to me. That's waking, that's dreaming too. And things don't appear to me. That's deep sleep. So Gaudapada says there are two states, not three. Two states, dreaming and sleeping. Dreaming is dreaming, waking is dreaming. So there is only one state, that is dreaming, which is both waking and dreaming are put in there. And deep sleep is sleeping. Why? Because in what's common to waking and dreaming is things appear to me. It's like a dream. And what's special about deep sleep? Nothing appears to me. It's like a movie is playing, a movie is switched off. That's all. You are consciousness. And not only that, a movie or a train in the station seems to be separate from the station master. But here, you are the only reality that is. And you appear to yourself as your waking state. You appear to yourself as your dream state. You appear to yourself, or you do not appear, as the deep sleep state. Appearance and non-appearance, both are experienced by you, the ever-present consciousness. The classic mantra in the Mandukya Upanishad, the seventh mantra, I think it's the most powerful mantra in all Upanishadic literature. It's certainly my favorite or one of my favorites. It talks about you. Who are you? You are not what you think you are. We normally think, I am the waker, this waking person. And I have a name, Sarvapriyananda, I am in this body, this is the reality. This is what I normally think. But Upanishad Mandukya tells you, you are the consciousness which appears as the waker and the waking world in the waking state. It appears as the dreamer and the dream world in the dream state. And it appears as the deep sleeper, or does not appear, as the blankness in the deep sleep state. You are none of these three, waker, dreamer and deep sleeper. You are the fourth one, the one who is appearing as these three. The fourth one in Sanskrit is called Turiya. Turiya. Turiya literally means four. That's all, just four. And what is this four? Are you a fourth one? Not actually fourth. Shankaracharya explains. This is a crucial point to understand. In Maya, counting in Maya, through appearance, it seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, and the real you, fourth. But in reality, it's just one appearing as the three. It's like an actor appearing as the emperor and the prince and the beggar. Does three roles on stage. Dresses as the emperor, comes and delivers his lines, goes back to the green room. Dresses as the prince, comes and delivers his line, goes back to the green room. Dresses as a beggar, comes and acts as a beggar and goes back to the green room. How many are there? So, emperor, prince, beggar, 3. What about the actor? Oh, yeah, the actor, 4. There are 4. Really 4? Or how many are there? 1. Which is the one? Emperor, beggar, prince? No, it's the actor is the one. So, Turiya is the one reality. And it's non-dual because the other 3 are not really 3. They are not a second reality apart from the Turiya. I'll repeat. Turiya is non-dual because it's the one without a second. The waker, dreamer and deep sleeper are not really a second, third or fourth compared to the Turiya. They are the Turiya alone, the actor alone appearing in these different roles. What are the roles? Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper. So, this truth is taught in the 7th mantra of the Mandukya Upanishad. Let me recite it to you. It's very powerful, soaring, sublime. It goes like this. I'll chant it for you and then translate. Nanta pragyam na bahish pragyam na ubhayata pragyam na pragyana gharam na pragyam na pragyam adrishyam avyavaharyam agrahyam alakshanam achintyam avyapadeshyam ekatma pratyasaram prapanchopashamam shantam shivam advaitam chaturtham manyante sa atma savigneya. Wonderful. What does it say? It says, who are you? Who am I? You are not the dreamer. You are not the deep sleeper. You are not the waker. You are not some in-between state also. Neither sleeper, nor dreamer, nor waker. What is that? Well, I am high on weed or something. And you see guys, and every day I meet guys who are in Central Park in Manhattan. Especially in the evenings, you will find lots of people are high on weed there. And worse. So that's another state. But even that's not the real you. So is it, then do you mean I am something like all-knowing consciousness, like God, omniscient, and knower of everything? Do you mean that? Are you talking about God? No, not even that. Are you talking then not conscious at all? Not waking consciousness, not dream consciousness, not deep sleep, then not conscious. Are you talking like I am like a stone or a piece of rock, nothing, no consciousness? No, not even that. Then it says, you are not an object of the sense organs. You cannot be seen, heard. You are the real you. The real you. It cannot be seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched. Adrishyam. It's not an object of the motor organs also. Agrahyam, that means you can't catch hold of it. You can't walk to it. I am going on pilgrimage to Banaras or to Haridwar, Char Dham in the Himalayas, or to Makkah or Jerusalem. I am going on pilgrimage. Can you go on pilgrimage and catch hold of the? No. Then can you infer it? Like our scientific knowledge, you get data, make a hypothesis, match that and come to an inference, conclusion? No. And why not? And all these, there are reasons for it, but I'm not going into that. I'm just translating it for you. Can we at least speak of it? No, it is beyond language. No words can refer to it directly. Indirectly they can. We will see how. No words can refer to it directly. It's a big problem because, after all, words. You're trying to talk about the ultimate reality, and we have just said, Mandukya Upanishad says you can't say it directly. So words have to refer to it, but how? We'll see. And anyway, here the point is, words cannot express it directly. Abhyapadeshyam. Can you think about it at least? No, achintyam. You can't even think about are you thinking about the ultimate reality? Yes, I'm thinking about the ultimate reality. Well, whatever you're thinking about it, it's not that. And then, so all this is negative, neti, not this. And then, in a positive sense, is there any way of actually positively saying what it is? Well, yes, sort of indirectly. Ekatma pratyasaram. It is the sense of I, the ego, the sense of I. If you trace it back to its source, where is the sense of I coming from? The self. From the small self to the capital self. You can do that. This was the entire method of Ramana Maharshi. Who am I? It's based on this ekatma pratyasaram. It is prapancha upashamam, a beautiful word. It means it's the silence of the universe. The entire universe is silent there. It settles down into non-reality. Prapanchopashamam. Just to explain this word, Gaudapada writes a whole chapter called Vaitatya Prakarana, the second chapter of the Mandukya Karika. It's just for one word, Prapanchopashamam. Shantam, it means forever beyond all sorrow. Sarva upadrava-rahitam, beyond all sorrow, beyond all suffering. Shantam. Remember, what are we talking about? We're talking about you, your real nature. And it is joy, it is fulfillment, it's auspiciousness, Shivam. It is Advaitam, non-dual. There is no second reality apart from it, Turiya, you. And to explain this word, Gaudapada writes another chapter, third chapter of the Mandukya Karika, Advaita Prakaranam. Advaitam, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Chaturtham Manyante, people think it's the fourth. Turiya, fourth. Who think? Agyaha, commentator says, ignorant people think it's the fourth. Then what do wise people like us, what do we think? We think it's the one. It's not the fourth. It appears as the three. We know it's the actor. We know it's not an emperor or a prince or a beggar. It's the actor. But it appears as the three. It is one consciousness, but it appears as the waker and the waking world. It appears as the dreamer and the dream world. It appears as the deep sleeper and the potential, the seed-like darkness of the deep sleep world. Advaitam. Chaturtham manyate. People think it is the fourth. All very good. What is it to me? Sa Atma. That's the self. That's you. That's nice, but I don't think so. And asavigyaha. It has to be realized. It has to be realized. If it was automatic, then we wouldn't be here. Things would be fine and we would be liberated all the time. But it's not automatic. It can become automatic after realization. Because realization, enlightenment, that's what we are after. So you see here. Swapna jagarite suptim bhava bhavo dhyam tatha. Yo vetya avikriya sakshat. The one without any change. I'm reading 22nd verse. Without any change whatsoever. One changeless awareness. Like one steady light who illumines. Swapna, dream. Jagarita, waking. Suptim, deep sleep. Bhava bhava, dhyam, the activity and the absence of activity of the mind. Both are illumined by you, consciousness. See, we identify ourselves as activity of the mind. So the moment the mind is inactive, in deep sleep for example, to us from the waking state it looks like nothing, just blank. It's almost like I wasn't there. In order to not appear foolish, we have to say, yeah, I was there in some sense. Otherwise, we'll have to say that every time we wake up, we are new. Every time we go to sleep, we are dead, gone. But nobody says that. We instinctively feel somehow we are there, so that we come back when we start thinking again. I had this interesting experience. We were studying Descartes' meditation, first meditations, at Harvard University in the philosophy department. And Descartes says, cogito ergo sum, the famous conclusion, I can doubt everything, but I cannot doubt my own existence. Why cannot I doubt my own existence? I think, therefore I exist. Even to doubt that whether I exist or not, I have to think that, do I exist? Maybe I don't exist. By that very doubt, I prove my own existence. The thinker of the doubt, the doubter must be there in order to doubt. So, cogito ergo sum, that I think, therefore I exist. Now, you know what Vedanta would say, I exist, therefore I think. Just right now, Shankaracharya said, bhava bhavo dhyam tatha. You, the one changeless awareness, consciousness, you illumine the thinking of the mind and the non-thinking of the mind. So, I asked the professor, suppose Descartes does not think. I think, therefore I am. Suppose Descartes does not think. For example, Descartes falls asleep. So, has Descartes disappeared? If you say, yes, I think, therefore I am. So, I don't think, therefore I am not. So, if you disappear, if Descartes disappears every time he falls asleep, then every time he wakes up, an entirely new Descartes has come. No, that can't be true. So, I am that which illumines the activity. Of course, Descartes meant that only, but anyway, this makes it clearer. I am that which illumines the activity of the mind and the inactivity of the mind, the waking and dreaming of the mind and the deep sleep of the mind. All are illumined by one consciousness. Soham, aham brahmasmi. That Mandukya Upanishad itself says, I am Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman. All right. Avadharaya. Not just chant it, not just listen to it, but not even just understand it. Assimilate it so that it becomes your worldview and self-view. Like, he says, a pot, our familiar pot again. The pot is back. The pot is illumined by the light. Therefore, the light is distinct from the pot. Pot doesn't come with its own. The light is not integral to the pot. The light comes and illumines the pot. Consciousness illumines every object that we experience. When Sadhu in Haridwar is giving a talk, it was in Hindi. So what he did was, in order to demonstrate this, so it was a discussion, it was like a forum, like all the monks are coming and giving talks on Vedanta all morning long and all afternoon long, and this Sadhu was supposed to speak at the end. Now that's a very difficult act, because the audience is thoroughly saturated within quote unquote bored with Vedanta, and people were beginning to get up and go, the final lecture, and they were beginning to get up and go, and this Sadhu stood up and said, you can go if you want. You have heard all the talks on Vedanta, but I am not going to talk to you about Vedanta. I am going to show you Brahman. Straight. Sakshat dikhayenge aapko abhi. and now itself I am going to show you Brahman. Then people turned around, came back and sat down again. Aha, this is what we had come for. Whole morning people gave theory. This guy is going to show us Brahman. Then what did he do? He took out, so all the monks, they have like this. They wear it's called an uttariya. He took this out, and it's an orange cloth like this, gerua. And he showed it like this. What are you seeing? Said, your uttariya, your cloth. Said, no, you are seeing light. The fact is that light is coming and reflected from this prakash, and it goes into your eyes, and then it forms an image there. Then that is, and then the whole process of the visual perception goes. It goes through the visual nerves back to the brain centers. Notice what goes into our eyes. Whatever we are seeing, only one thing goes into our eyes, and that's light. The cloth doesn't go into our eyes. That would be terrible. You have to call. Is it 911 here? The same thing. So you have to call 911. What happened? He saw a piece of cloth. What's so terrible about that? The cloth. If the cloth goes into my eyes, I look at the tree and the tree goes into my eyes, it will be terrible. The only thing that goes into our eyes is light. Whatever we are seeing is illumined by light, and the light comes to us and it creates an image in our retina, and then at that time even light is not there, and then the image is again converted into tiny bursts of electricity racing out through our optic nerves into our brain centers. Not a cloth, not even light, not even image, electricity. Very mild bursts of electricity racing to our optic nerves to the brain centers. From there, something more miraculous happens. It's presented to the mind as a cloth. Cloth akara vritti. Vritti means modification of the mind in the form of a cloth. There is no actual cloth in the mind. It's the mind itself, but which is having a representation of this. And then something even more interesting takes place. There is consciousness which is reflected in the mind as reflected consciousness, chidabhasa, which illumines the cloth akara vritti in the mind. And then the knowledge comes in the mind. I see the cloth. It took me so long to say this, but this is what happens in an instant. So even not only in seeing, but hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, even internally only thinking. Vritti is in the mind being illumined by consciousness. So that sadhu said, everything that we experience, all that we are experiencing is consciousness alone. Just like everything that you see is light alone. Everything that we experience is consciousness alone. We see it as a world, but it's consciousness alone. This is Brahman. There, I've shown you Brahman. Now, so basically here he has summed up whatever we talked about. Now, switching subjects. One more thing has to be done. We have mentioned Ananda again and again and again. But exactly Ananda means bliss. I understand that I exist. I understand that I am awareness or consciousness. Good enough. I am the witness consciousness of the 5 sheets. I am the witness consciousness of the 3 bodies. You say, what are the 3 bodies? The sthula sharira, the physical body, sukshma sharira, subtle body, and karana sharira, causal body. I am the witness of them. Or I am the witness of the 3 states, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. This is a good way of summarizing whatever we did till now. I'll repeat. I am that consciousness which is a witness of the 5 sheets, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. The food sheet, vital sheet, mental sheet, intellect sheet, and bliss sheet. Or I am the consciousness which is a witness of, apart from, witness of 3 bodies. Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira. Physical body, subtle body, causal body. Causal, not casual. Causal body. And then I am the consciousness which is a witness of the three states. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Waking, dreaming, deep sleep. So this is all that we have done till now. Like light illumining all of this, I am consciousness illumining all of this. Now, I understand this. But how am I bliss? You keep saying I am Ananda, Ananda, Satchidananda. Sat and Chit we understand. I am existence, I am awareness. Good. But how am I Ananda? Bliss. We are coming into that now. 2 verses. Putra vittadayo bhava, putra vittadayo bhava, yasya sheshataya priyaha, yasya sheshataya priyaha, drashta sarva priyatama, drashta sarva priyatama, soham ityavadharaya, soham ityavadharaya, para premaspadataya, para premaspadataya, manabhuvam aham sada, manabhuvam aham sada, bhuyasam iti yo drashta, bhuyasam iti yo drashta, soham ityavadharaya, soham ityavadharaya. Do ascertain the fact that you are the one with the seer, the dearest of all, for whose sake persons and things such as children and wealth are dear, and with regard to which there is the earnest desire, may I, the object of supreme love, always be and never cease to exist. Okay. Here he is proving by 2 arguments. He is giving us 2 arguments to show that you are Ananda. Which you? Consciousness, Drashta, pure consciousness. That you are bliss also. You are Sat, Chit, bliss also, Ananda. And he is going to do this through argument. There's a strange way of thinking about it, but try to see what he is saying. It's pretty interesting. What are we trying to prove here? We are trying to prove that you are the most loved, you are the source of the greatest happiness, and you are the source of constant happiness. Ananda, greatest happiness, constant happiness. You are never the source of unhappiness for yourself, and there is no greater source of happiness than you yourself. How will we prove that? He says, alright, so this is the logic. Let me just explain the logic to you. You find these 2 points raised, these 2 arguments raised in Panchadashi, chapter 1. Same thing. So, Vidyaranya has borrowed from Shankaracharya here. The argument goes like this. If something is loved for the sake of another thing, that other thing is loved more than the first thing. I will repeat this. If you love A for the sake of B, then you love B more than A. So, like a good example is a mother who loves the toys with her, her baby plays with the toys. She loves the toys, and she loves the baby also. Why does she love the toys? Because of the baby, because the toys are beloved to the baby. So she loves the toys for the sake of the baby. Whom does she love more, the toys or the baby? This is a silly question. The toys are loved for the sake of the baby. The baby is certainly loved more than the toys. Now, so what? He says, I am going to show to you the self, you yourself, Everything is loved for your sake, but you are not loved for the sake of anything else. If you love something else for the sake of another, that one is loved more than the first one. Since you love things in the world, but they are all loved for your sake, and therefore you are loved more than anything else. How? Prove it. So, nice example of a young man who said, who had a very good job. He said, I love my job more than anything else. Really? You love your job more than anything else? Yes. All right. In that case, you can do the job, but you won't be paid. No, 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 no. I need the money. So then suppose I give you a choice. You have a job and you are getting money for it. Great. I have no doubt that you enjoy doing the job, but you get the money, you enjoy that. Suppose you're forced to pick one or the other. You can have all that money without doing anything, or you can do the job but you won't get any of the money. What will you pick? So he says, no, I'll pick the money. All right. You'll pick the money, but you can't spend it. You can't buy anything with it. You can't give it to anybody. You can't buy anything. It'll just be your money. That's all. No. I need to spend it for my family. I need to give things to my wife and kids and all. All right. You can give things to them. You can give things to, you can buy stuff for them. You can spend the money, buy stuff for them. But they won't be your wife and kids. They'll be just some random family. No. They have to be my family. You see how it comes from the job to the money to the family to myself. Now this might sound very selfish, and it would be selfish if you had not gone through this process earlier. This one consciousness which is common to all beings, that consciousness is the source of all, is loved more than anything else. Because we do not know ourselves as that consciousness. What do we mistake ourselves for? The ego. And the same love continues. But now it's love for I, me, myself, and that leads to all the trouble in the world. That's why ego is the biggest hurdle in spiritual life. You see, we are Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, and see how the ego spoils everything. I am immortal existence. I am not born, I do not die. The body is born and body dies. But I do not know myself as that Sat. I know myself as this ego. And the ego is directly connected to this body. And so I think I will die. Ego has spoiled it. Chit, consciousness. I am pure consciousness. Witness of the activity of the mind, witness of the inactivity of the mind. Witness of waking, dreaming and deep sleep. But I don't know myself as Chit. I know only myself as this conscious ego, which is subject to waking and dreaming and deep sleep, which is subject to anesthesia and coma, and which is subject to all kinds of conscious experiences, pleasure, pain, which is subject to frustration, disappointment, lack of fulfillment, desire, striving, effort, exhaustion, and ultimate defeat in this life. That's why ego spoils it all. Then I do not know myself as Ananda, pure bliss, which we will see now. I see myself as this ego seeking Ananda, and most of the time not finding it. So how you see why ego is always the blamed in spiritual life. Always in all spiritual practices, in every religion, not just Vedanta, in bhakti, in yoga, in every religious tradition, ego is the problem. And then ego gets an inflammation, the medical term inflammation. So ego connected with body and mind. So problems or associated factors in body and mind, like learning. I am so learned. I know more than you. I know all the verses. I've read all the books. I know more. I, the ego. I have more than you. The ego is always competitive. or I am most popular, or I am most liked. So ego. Or the opposite. I am not, I'm stupid, I'm a loser, I'm poor, I'm disliked, nobody is my friend. Ego. Now he says, all things are loved for the sake of the self. Whether you take it as ego or whether you take it as Satchidananda. If you take it as ego, as we do, it's still true. Everything is loved for the sake of the ego ultimately. But that leads to disaster, because it's the small ego is always connected to one body mind. But it's actually more true when you take it as pure consciousness awareness, which is there everywhere. Everything is loved for that. And it is not loved for the sake of anything more. It is the end. So, it is the most loved of all. If A is loved for the sake of B, B is loved more than A. If B is loved for the sake of C, then C is loved more than B and A. Ultimately, everything is loved for the sake of Atma, self. So, Atma is loved more than anything else. But what do we love? We love that which gives us happiness. We love that more which gives us more happiness. You can see where I am going with this. So, we love the Atman the most, whether small s self, ego, or capital S. An enlightened person will love the ego. The enlightened person loves the self, the capital S, Atman, which is same everywhere. Then that gives us maximum happiness. So, the Atman is the source of maximum happiness. One. But is it always the source of happiness? Is it always the source of, can it not sometimes be the source of unhappiness also? No. Atman is the source of maximum happiness and constant happiness. How do you prove that? Next argument. Says, the argument goes like this. What gives us happiness? We want. What gives us unhappiness? We get rid of. We want to have, acquire, preserve, keep safe anything that is giving me happiness. We want to get rid of, dispose of, avoid anything, anyone, any situation that gives me unhappiness. That's what we do. And it could be something gave me happiness, new iPhone, I go there and buy it, gives me happiness. I want to get it, I want to buy it and keep it and show it off and all of that. It's giving me happiness. Very soon another iPhone comes. What is now iPhone 13, 14? That comes. And my old iPhone 7 is now no longer the source of happiness for me. Same iPhone, has not done anything else, has given me years of faithful service, no longer source of happiness. Now I want the shiny new thing, iPhone 14. Therefore, this is no longer source of happiness, therefore I want to get rid of it. Sell it off, half price, cash it in, take it, give it back and get a new one. So, anything that is source of happiness for me, I want to keep. If anything is not a source of happiness for me, source of unhappiness for me, I want to get rid of. Now, I reverse it. If there is something that I want to keep, it must be source of happiness. If there is something that I want to keep forever, it must be forever the source of happiness for me. And there is one thing I want to keep forever. I myself, I want to exist. I want to live. I want to keep myself in existence forever, which means I am constantly the source of happiness for myself, never the source of unhappiness. I know the doubt which is coming in your mouth. What about suicide? What about people who can commit suicide? They want to get rid of their own existence. But if you look closely, that's not true. They have a problem. I have a big debt. I can't pay back my loans. I want to kill myself. Somebody says, wait a minute, your loans are forgiven. Oh, great. What happened? You want to kill yourself? Go and kill yourself. No. That's all right now. So I really didn't want to get rid of myself. I wanted to get rid of the problem. No one really wants to get rid of themselves. So, since I do not want to get rid of myself, it shows that I want to keep myself. But if I want to keep myself, then I am the source of happiness all the time for myself. We don't normally think in this way. This is the conclusion. Since I want to live forever, I am forever the source of happiness for myself. Since everything is loved for myself, then I am the source of maximum happiness. If this self is identified with body mind, it leads to a selfish existence and disappointment and trouble in life. If the self is identified as it really is, as the pure consciousness, it is common to everyone and everywhere, unchanging, then it leads to freedom and happiness. That is Ananda. One more point here, then I am done for this session. Okay. Ananda, bliss, is not a feeling. This can sound mystifying and disappointing for some people, because we want happiness as a feeling. I want to feel happy. No. Ananda is not a feeling of happiness. It's exactly the same for Sat and Chit. Sat, existence, is not an existing thing. And bottle exists, table exists, cloth exists. These are existing things. They come into existence, they exist for a while, they change, they degrade, and they die, or they are destroyed. Living beings are existing things. They are born and they age and they die, they go away. But existence, Sat, is not a thing which is born, existing and going away. It's always there. It's like the gold. You can melt it and make it into a necklace. You can melt it and make it into a ring. You can melt that ring and make it into a bracelet. Many names and forms come and go. It could just be a lump of gold for all you care. But the gold as gold is constant. Similarly, but the ornaments come and go. Similarly, there is something which is common to all existence, as all existing things, as existence itself, like the gold in the ornaments, like the clay in the pots or water in the waves. Similarly, existence itself. But existence itself is not an existing thing, just as gold itself is not an ornament, but it is the reality of all ornaments. Similarly, Chit, consciousness, is not a conscious experience. Our thoughts, emotions, ideas, pleasures, pains, desires, these are all conscious experiences. Perceptions, these are conscious experiences. They come and go like flashing light. But what makes all of them possible is this one uniform radiance behind everything, which we saw yesterday and today, consciousness itself. But that consciousness itself is not an object, is not a conscious experience, one particular experience divorced from all others. Just as gold is not one ornament different from other golden ornaments, it's common to all golden ornaments. Similarly, consciousness is common to all conscious states, waking, dreaming, even deep sleep. Similarly, Ananda is not a particular kind of pleasure. There is a pleasure of eating a cookie, and there is a pleasure of listening to classical music, there is a pleasure of reading a book, and the pleasure of learning Vedanta, and the pleasure of becoming enlightened and realizing I am Brahman. No, not like that. It is the one joy, the one fulfillment which appears as all limited pleasures. Shankaracharya says, within you is the ocean of unlimited bliss, the spray from which people in the world are mad after. We are madly running after just spray from that unlimited ocean of Ananda, which is our very nature. It's already there. It's coming out in front of us. I am running. Cookie, music, friends, games, money making, Facebook likes, and so on. They are all like little things coming from that endless reservoir within us. I think Rajanikanth's song is there. That people of the world, my Lord, they are sitting on the beach next to the ocean of nectar, and they are dying of thirst. They dig in the ocean for a drop of water. They dig in the sand. They dig in the dry sand for a drop of water. Never once do they turn around and look back into the ocean of nectar which is right behind them. I've forgotten the Bengali lines. So, this is Ananda. You are Ananda. You are Chaitanya. You are Sat. Sat Chit Ananda. Then, number 26. This will be the last one. Ya sakshi lakshano bodha, ya sakshi lakshano bodha, tvam padartha sa uchyate, tvam padartha sa uchyate, sakshitvam bodhritvam, sakshitvam api bodhritvam, sakshitvam api bodhritvam, avikaritayatmanah, avikaritayatmanah. Consciousness which is of the nature of the witness is what is meant by the word thou. Witnessing again is nothing but knowingness on the part of the self as one devoid of all change. So he sums up. What were we doing from yesterday till now? We are trying to understand the meaning of the word Tvam. You. You are that. Tat Tvam Asi. You. What is you? This pure consciousness. This witness consciousness. And even witnessing is making it clear. Witnessing is not an act. You are unchanging consciousness. It is just this very thing which gives you first person experience. That shining, everything is experienced. That's what's called witness. If there is anything to be experienced, like in waking or in dream, you will experience that. If there is nothing to be experienced, like in deep sleep, you will illumine that blankness also. And that is not an act, it is what you are already. It's like the sun is illumining the earth, and every little piece of grass. If all the grass and the people and the insects and the flowers, they get together and send a resolution of thanks to the sun. Thank you for illuminating all of us. The sun will say, I couldn't care less. I just shine. And all the illumination and everything that you attribute to me is done automatically by your own nature. But blessed by me, blessed by my presence. Without me it wouldn't be possible, the sun will say. Similarly, without you, the consciousness, none of life, what you call life, would be possible. But that consciousness is not actually actively doing anything. It just is, it shines. You are, you shine. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Kathopanishad. That shining, everything else shines after it. By its light, everything here is lit up. You shining, everything else shines after you. By your light, everything here is lit up. That is the meaning of the word Tvam, you. Done. In the next session, we will see the meaning of the word that. Basically, Ishvara, or Bhagavan, Brahman, we'll see that. And in the afternoon sessions, we will actually do Vakyavritti, extracting the meaning of the sentence Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.